Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the weekly MMA Cycles Market Update. Today is the 17th of April, 2024, and this is Gianni DiPocia, your host. We are on the cusp of one of the biggest geocosmic signatures of the year. The Jupiter-Uranus conjunction is set to unfold on the 20th of April. So let me go ahead and share my screen. We can start off by looking at the Dow Jones Industrial Average. And, coming into this big signature between Jupiter and Uranus, stocks have been pretty bullish, over the last several months. But since that March high, we've been coming down into presumably what will turn out to be a low that will coincide with this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. So I think that odds are that this decline is a bit extended here in the near term, and don't be surprised if we see a bounce over the next couple of weeks. Now, I want to take a look at the NASDAQ here because this is especially an important index given the conjunction between Jupiter and Uranus. Uranus rules tech, Jupiter rules growth, expansion. And so in theory, that should do well for the tech sector. And not to mention the conjunction is taking place in the sign of Taurus, which rules stocks overall. We know that the technology sector is the largest sector in the S&P 500. So, this decline seems to be pretty benign, corrective in nature, and ultimately here looking for a higher low of significance to be completed. Now, on that note of Jupiter conjunct Uranus, I do want to bring attention to an individual stock. We usually don't talk a lot about individual stocks in these videos, but I thought I would shake it up a little bit this week since we're coming up to such an important conjunction. And I want to bring attention to Apple stock. So a really important individual stock for the overall market. And as you can see, it's been declining for pretty much this entire year. And I'm basically arguing that we could see a low of significance completed if it didn't already happen last week. And I think the conjunction between Jupiter and Uranus will be auspicious for this stock. And here's why. We know that Apple is a tech stock. Jupiter can represent growth and expansion. The stock has been, down in the doldrums. But the sign of Taurus interests me, especially with respect to this individual stock and the entire aspect taking place. Taurus rules fruit, right? Agriculture. Even though Apple doesn't actually sell produce, it is a tech stock. It is a big stock. And its name symbolically is Apple. And was its logo for many, many years. So keep an eye on Apple. I think there's a really good risk reward ratio to be had here, as long as we don't start closing below this low from October 2023. Don't be surprised if Apple catches a nice bounce here and starts to move higher. Let's go ahead and take a look at interest rate markets. We are due for a short-term bounce in bond prices, and you can see TLT seeing that bounce unfold here. Probably just a trading cycle low. I would look for a corrective rally. Inflationary pressures don't seem to be going anywhere just yet as rate cut odds keep getting pushed back. Now we're looking for that to happen. The first one could be in September, and that's not far from the Jupiter-Saturn square that we've been talking about. So definitely keep an eye on that. You can see USO here, the crude oil futures fund is coming down from its high. It looks like we're falling into an important cyclical low. We are coming up on the 4-year anniversary. Actually, the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction will be exactly 4 years from that hyper-deflationary episode that we saw in April 2020. So keep an eye out for a low of significance to be completed in the energy market over the next week or two. I want to take a look at precious metals. Gold and silver continue to consolidate near the highs. This is bullish price action. It's looking really good from my vantage point. I think the prices will continue higher over the course of the next year or so. And the big question on many investors' traders' mind right now is what's happening in crypto. We've been calling for a 15-month cycle low to unfold in this space over the last couple of months, and specifically with a target for a bottom in the $50,000 to $55,000 area. And we're close to that. We're only about $5,000 away. Well, I'd say $6,000 away from satisfying that downside objective going into Jupiter conjunct Uranus and the halving. This could be a really good buying opportunity, I think, because I think that crypto will eventually continue its bull market higher and make new all-time highs. The fact that Bitcoin took out its high its previous all-time high from 2021 during this latest bull run is a really good sign. So be on the lookout for a potential washout low and a low of significance in the crypto market, because I think that will give some opportunities for some longs to be had. And that pretty much takes care of everything I want to talk about. Aside from the dollar, you're seeing a little bit of selling in the dollar today. We've talked about the Japanese yen and the importance of that market, and we did see that breakout. So, keep an eye out for this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, because it's going to be opposite the Bank of Japan's North Node in the sign of Scorpio. So, really important moment for the Central Bank of Japan here, and it could have major ramifications for the entire financial market, because it's all downstream from what happens in currencies, and that's downstream. What happens in bonds, and what happens in bonds is going to impact stocks. So it's all tied together. The principle of interconnectivity. Not only do we have Jupiter-Uranus conjunction in the next couple of days, but the day after we have Sun square Pluto, and then next week on the 25th, Mercury retrograde will finally end, and Mercury will go stationary direct in the sign of Aries. So perhaps some of the geopolitical tensions, the rhetoric will become a little bit more clear after that time. And just, a lot of the moves that we're seeing now could abruptly reverse. So that means the dollar could sell off. The bonds could, reverse again. Stocks could find a low. Crypto could find a low. Keep an eye on that over the next week or two. We're coming up to a very important period from a geocosmic standpoint. So that takes care of everything that I wanted to review with you today. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel and check out all of our work, reports, educational content at www.mmacycles.com. That's all for now. See you same time next week.